Welcome to the Association for Library Service to Children Awards presentation. I'm Kirby McCurtis, President of the Association for Library Service to Children, also known as ALSC. Thank you for joining us to celebrate the winners of the 2021 Batchelder, Excellence in Early Learning Digital Media, Geisel and Sibert Awards. Though these 4 awards celebrate markedly different categories of youth media, they proudly share the common goal of recognizing excellence for children. We are joined by a wide range of authors, illustrators, producers, and publishers, and I am happy to congratulate and thank all of them for their contributions. Before we begin, I would like to thank the 2021 selection committees, guided by ALSC Priority Group consultant Kathy Meisner, ALSC's leadership, and the ALSC staff. I also want to thank Bob Seibert of Bound to Stay Bound Books for his continued support of the ALSC Awards program, especially this presentation. Without further ado, let's begin the awards presentation in alphabetical order of award with the chair of the 2021 Mildred L. Batchelder Award, Suzanne Harold.
Hello, I'm Suzanne Harold, chair of the 2021 Mildred L. Batchelder Award Committee. The Batchelder Award is presented annually to a United States publisher for a children's book considered to be the most outstanding of those books originating in a country other than the United States and in a language other than English, and subsequently translated into English for publication in the United States during the preceding year. Our committee met briefly in January 2020, then via Zoom for the remainder of the year, always expecting that the next conference would be in person. I would like to thank my committee for their enduring hard work, passion, and grace during a most unexpected year. HarperCollins Children's Books for Catherine's War, written by Julia Billet, illustrated by Claire Fauvel, translated from the French by Ivanka Honenberger. This graphic novel tells the story of Rachel, a Jewish girl forced to change her identity during World War II. Now Catherine, she uses her camera as a lens to document her experiences. Based on a true story, the book's action vividly captures her moments of terror, exhilaration, and joy.
Hi, it's Jill Davis, and so excited to celebrate the Mildred Batchelder Honor for Catherine's War. This is a beautiful adaptation of a novel by Julia Billet, by Claire Fauvel and Julia together. It tells the story of Catherine, who travels around France looking for freedom, only with her Rolleiflex camera to witness World War II. Thank you so much to Ivanka Honenberger, who did a beautiful job with the translation, and to everyone at Rue de Sèvres, and to everyone in Harper Alley at HarperCollins. Yay! Batchelder!
Enchanted Lion Books for Telephone Tales, written by Gianni Rodari, illustrated by Valerio Vidali, translated from the Italian by Anthony Shugar. A traveling salesman calls his young daughter every night with a very short story. A classic in Italy, Shugar's translation captures Rodari's wordplay and nonsensical fun, introducing U.S. readers to worlds of ice cream palaces, educational candy, and roads paved with chocolate.
Good morning, everyone. We are so glad and honored to be here today. My name is Claudia Bedrick. I'm the publisher and editor and art director of Enchanted Lion Books.
And I'm Associate Editor Emily Robert Wong.
For all of us at Enchanted Lion, the Batchelder is dear to our collective heart, and we're so grateful for the spotlight it puts on books in translation, as well as those of us who publish them. We care intensely about translation because the idea of literature itself as a record of the human imagination has always been of a global literature. As I've had the chance to say before, books in translation don't just give us more good books or even more diverse books. Rather, they give us the fullest spectrum of human feeling and experience revealed in all its variety and richness. Restricted to our own language and dominant culture, we easily become constricted within ourselves, cut off from possibilities of thought, feeling, and understanding that can only be ferried to us from the far shores of other languages and the conceptions those languages hold of reality, nature, experience, life, and death. Anthony Shugar, the translator of the 2021 Batchelder Award winner Telephone Tales by Gianni Rodari, came into the life of Enchanted Lion Books by giving us a telephone call around 7 years ago. He showed up on the other end of the phone talking about this Italian genius named Gianni Rodari, about whom I knew something thanks to another translator named Jack Zipes. Listening to Tony transported me away from my desk to Italy in the 20th century, into a post-war period of devastation, when certain artists, writers, and poets, among them Rodari, were committing themselves to the powers of the imagination and its inherent sense of contradiction to pave the way for a better, saner, more just path into the future. Tony spoke of Rodari as arguably Italy's greatest children's author, but one who had not made it to North America, quite possibly on account of having been a committed socialist. But as I listened to Tony talk, it became clear that far from being an ideologue or socialist first and foremost, Rodari was rather a humane and deeply decent person who had committed himself in the best possible way to the realms of wonder and fantasy that are so necessary to children. Now we'll be joined by Associate Editor Emily Robert Wong, who will share some anecdotes about Anthony Sugar's translation process with you.
When Tony spoke with me about his translation process, he described it as a form of reporting. As a translator, he immerses himself into another language that his readers cannot access, garners all his reactions, and then tries to recreate that same experience for his readers, giving them the opportunity to see what he saw. And in a way, Tony continued, that's exactly what Gianni Rodari was talking about when he was describing all of these stories as telephone calls. From pure words spring forth that magical imagination that builds the world of story, with each reader actively participating in the imaginative process of storytelling. Tony also described his translation as taking a long train ride, in which the only two people in the compartment were himself and Gianni Rodari. And what is there to do during this train ride but to get to know your companion, engage with the interiority of his mind, and share in his way of seeing the world? So for Tony, translating telephone tales was all about bringing through this Rodarian perspective, hijacking ordinary reality through whimsy and humor, and imagining a world with an underground river of human decency and equality for all. Rodari spent a lifetime in service of the imagination, with a great respect for young people, and we hope that readers of Tony's translation will answer Rodari's telephone call and join in the train ride of his imagination.
We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to ALSC and Suzanne Harold, Batchelder Committee Chair, and her committee members for recognizing Telephone Tales by Gianni Rodari, translated from the Italian by Anthony Sugar, for this year's Batchelder Award. We are deeply honored and deeply pleased that this award and recognition will give us the opportunity to publish more of Rodari's wonderful, mind-bending works than we ever thought would be possible. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Madeline Walton Hadlock, Chair of the 2021 Excellence in Early Learning Digital Media Award Committee. The Excellence in Early Learning Digital Media Award is one of ALA's newer awards, now in its third year. It is given annually to the producer of the most distinguished digital media for an early learning audience produced in the United States. Over the last year, I've had the great privilege of working with an incredibly thoughtful, bright, and flexible group of library professionals. Like the other 2021 award committees, we found ourselves unexpectedly transitioning to an all-virtual format and reviewing media amid enormous uncertainty about the world. One thing that grounded us, though, was the knowledge that families needed access to high-quality media more than ever. This award helps us lead families to distinguished and accessible digital resources that engage, promote learning, encourage co-participation between children and their grown-ups, and highlight diverse experiences. Please join me in recognizing my dedicated team, the 2021 Excellence in Early Learning Digital Media Award Committee. Throughout 2020, the committee evaluated a wide range of media designed for children ages 2 to 8 and their caregivers. In the end, we selected one award winner and one honor title. Sesame Street Family Play, Caring for Each Other, produced by Sesame Workshop. Developed as a shared play experience for caregivers and their young children, the Sesame Street Family Play app provides a user-friendly design with over 130 activities to help families stay active and healthy, learn together, and connect with each other through innovative and playful experiences. The app is available in both English and Spanish.
Hi everyone. All of us at Sesame Workshop are thrilled to be recognized by the ALSC for this app, which allowed us to provide more than 100 Muppet games to play at home and strategies for caregivers to comfort children and promote learning during the pandemic. As always, our aim was to provide families with the resources they need to help raise happy, healthy children. Thanks to ALSC and its members for this wonderful honor.
The Imagine Neighborhood, produced by Committee for Children, is the winner of the 2021 Excellence in Early Learning Digital Media Award. The Imagine Neighborhood podcast invites children and their grown-ups to join host Scotty Iseri to talk about things that matter. Interactive storytelling, a cast of delightfully imaginative characters, engaging conversation starters, and side-splitting silliness combine in this distinguished podcast to help children and grown-ups build their social-emotional learning skills together.
Hello, I'm Mia Doses, the executive producer of the Imagine Neighborhood and the vice president of innovation at Committee for Children. I'm so thankful that the important work that we're doing is being recognized. Even though our show can be a little bit silly, I take our work very seriously, knowing the impact it can have on the lives of children everywhere. Hey!
We here at the Imagine Neighborhood also want to say thank you to the hundreds of thousands of families who've made us part of your breakfast time, your homeschooling, your nap times, your snack times. We are honored to be part of your lives.
For those of you who haven't heard of the show, we're an audio podcast where we use very silly stories to talk about very serious feelings.
That's right. Every episode is based on the award-winning social-emotional learning curriculum Second Step. We're serious about providing valuable educational experiences for kids and their grown-ups. So we've done our research.
Did someone say research?
Dr. Sherry, Dr. Jasmine, PhDs.
Sure, the Imagine Neighborhood is hilarious and fun. And sure, it's been called the Mr. Rogers for the 21st century.
But we all know the real reason it's so popular.
Because of the rigorous standard of
research.
And of course, the special Dr. Sherry and Dr. Jasmine episodes where we do a deep dive into difficult topics.
We give parents tools to talk about big topics like COVID-19, Black Lives Matter, and the chaos around back to school last year.
It's science, and science we can all use every day.
Our show gives grown-ups the tools to talk with their kids about anything. And with a year like last year, we need some ways to talk about difficult things.
Because 2020 was a difficult year for all of us.
Many of us missed out on a lot of things.
We missed out on story time at our local library.
We missed second grade.
We missed out on weddings and birthdays.
And some of us might have missed our chances to say goodbye.
And those come with some big feelings. It can be hard to talk about our big feelings sometimes, and our show is dedicated to helping start those important conversations. We're honored to be doing this work.
And we're honored to receive this award from the American Library Association. We thank you for this award.
No, this award.
This award, right here. This award.
This award from the American Library Association. We here in the Imagine Neighborhood want to raise a glass to librarians in neighborhoods all across the country.
Who kept the lights on?
We figured out how to get books to patrons curbside.
And made their reference desks virtual.
Who did story time over Zoom.
Who figured out how to do technical services remotely.
Who canceled our overdue fees.
They're not gonna do that.
You know, studies actually show that late fees may have a negative impact on overall library usage. And
what study is that from?
I think we're gonna need to see the research on that.
Guys, I think we can agree that joke is a bit patronizing.
You see...
See what I did there? Patronizing
library. Oh, I get it. Patron. Good one.
So thank you to the American Library Association and librarians everywhere. After a very tough year, tonight we're going to have ourselves a real good time.
We're going to feel alive.
And though the world is turning inside out,
we're floating around in ecstasy. Oh,
don't stop me.
Coffey Hancock, Chair of the 2021 Theodore Seuss Geisel Book Award Committee. The Geisel Award is given annually to the authors and illustrators of the most distinguished American book for beginning readers published in English in the United States during the preceding year. Award winners are recognized for their literary and artistic achievements to demonstrate creativity and imagination to engage children in reading. This year's Geisel winner is See the Cat, 3 stories about a dog, written by David LaRochelle and illustrated by Mike Wanuka. The Geisel Committee also selected 4 wonderful honor books. These award-winning books were selected by a committee of 7 members. I would like to thank our wonderful 2021 Geisel Committee for their hard work and dedication to selecting these amazing books for beginning readers. The Bear and My Family, written and illustrated by Maya Tasukawa and published by Dial Books for Young Readers, an imprint of Penguin Young Readers, a division of Penguin Random House. There's a loud, messy, and bossy member in the family. That person is actually a bear, but no one else sees that except a little boy. Living with a bear seems impossible, but it turns out that they can be the best part of the family.
Hello, I'm Maya Tatsukawa, and this is the bear from The Bear in My Family. Since we can't all be together, the bear and I wanted to send a big virtual bear hug to the ALSC, especially the Geisel Committee. Thank you all so much for this incredible honor. And a shout out to Lucia, my editor, and all the wonderful people at Dial Books for Young Readers.
Tys Travels Zip Zoom, written by Starling Lyons, illustrated by Nina Mata, published by HarperCollins Children's Books. Ty imagines he's a race car driver zipping along on his new scooter. At first he only wobbles, but with the help from a girl named Ari, he persists and the new friends zoom to a joyful finish.
My name is Starling Lyons, and I am the author of Tys Travels Zip Zoom. I am so thrilled that this book received a Geisel honor. Thank you to the award committee, and thank you to all the kids out there who inspired it, who deserve to be the stars of stories too. The Tys Travel series is a tribute to Black boy joy, the power of imagination, and the strength of the Black family. Thank you to illustrator Nina Mata, our editor Tamar, and the whole I Can Read team for bringing it to life. Here's to reading and representation.
Thank you so much to the American Library Association for selecting Tys Travel Zip Zoom to receive the Theodore Geisel honor. I mean, wow, this is such a milestone in my career. I am so grateful for the recognition my work has received. I only hope that I get to continue making art that encourages and engages children from all backgrounds to just keep reading. You know, we all deserve to be seen. Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you.
What Aboutworms, written and illustrated by Ryan T. Higgins, and published by Hyperion Books for Children, an imprint of Disney Publishing Worldwide. Tiger is big, brave, and not afraid of anything except worms. He lets his fear of worms get in the way of enjoying some of his favorite things. Luckily, the worms are just as afraid of him until they come across a book and learn more about tigers.
Hi, here I am in my studio. I want to thank the Geisel Committee so much for this amazing honor. I'm honored to have it, and I can't wait for the award to arrive. I hope it's not covered in worms.
Where's Baby? Written and illustrated by Ann Hunter, published by Tundra Books. Can you find Baby Fox? Readers will enjoy following Father's journey as he looks over, under, around, and into things, discovering all sorts of other animals until he finally gets a hint from Mother Fox. When Baby is found,
he invites the reader to do it again.
Hi, my name is Ann Hunter, and I'm the author and illustrator of Where's Baby? Thank you so much to the Geisel Committee, to the ALSC, the wonderful Tundra Books, and to all of our invaluable librarians. I had a great time making this book, and it was really wild to be sitting around our wood stove on a cold Vermont evening and have the phone ring, and it was the Geisel Committee calling. So thank you very much.
See the Cat, 3 Stories About a Dog. Written by David LaRochelle, illustrated by Mike Wanaka. Published by Candlewick Press. See the Cat, 3 Stories About a Dog is a deceptively simple book that teaches readers the power of words. The text is in direct contrast with the illustrations, defying both the readers' and Max the dog's expectations. Surprises and twists keep readers engaged and cheering for Max as he tries to outwit the narrator.
My name is David LaRochelle.
And my name is Mike Wanutka.
And it was an incredible honor and a complete surprise when we learned that our book, See the Cat, 3 Stories About a Dog, had won the John Newbery Medal for Outstanding Writing.
David, we did not win the Newbery Medal.
What I meant to say was that it was not a surprise when I learned that See the Cat had won the Randolph Caldecott Medal for Outstanding Illustration.
David, we did not win the Caldecott Medal.
As I was saying, both Mike and I were thrilled to learn that the award committee recognized the scientifically based factual interactions between dogs and cats that we tried so hard to accurately portray in our book. Believe me, winning the Seibert medal never even crossed my mind.
David, we did not win the Newbery Medal. We did not win the Caldecott Medal. We did not win the Seibert medal.
Then why are we giving a speech?
Weren't you paying attention to the introduction we just received?
No. I was on my phone playing Words with Friends with Kate DiCamillo.
We won the Theodore Seuss Geisel Award.
The what?
The Geisel Award, the award for the most distinguished book for beginning readers.
Wait a minute. You mean somebody else won those other awards? And we won an award for kids who are just learning to read?
Yes.
We won an award for creating a book for the earliest readers. A book that will open the door to reading and that will give kids confidence so that someday they can read Newbery and Seibert books on their own?
Exactly.
So you're telling me that we created a book that will help kids fall in love with reading so that years from now they will still treasure books and they'll share Caldecott winners with the young children in their lives? We won an award because our book does all that?
Well, at least 7 people thought so.
Well, in that case, with no offense to any of the other award winners, I can sincerely say that there is no other medal that I would rather receive than the Theodore Seuss Geisel Award. As a former elementary school teacher, to think that a book that I helped create might welcome independent readers to the wonderful worlds that await when you can read a book on your own makes me thrilled. To the members of the Theodore Seuss Geisel Award Committee, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have made me prouder than you will ever know. I'd also like to thank 3 other people. I'd like to thank Gary Nygaard, who has been my best friend even before my first book was published 33 years ago. Thank you, Gary, for all these years of encouragement, support, and love. I'd like to thank everyone at Candlewick, where we have been treated so wonderfully. But I'd especially like to thank our editor, Andrea Tompa. Andrea is smart and insightful and respectful and kind. I am so fortunate to be working with you, Andrea. And the third person that I would like to thank should be obvious. The success of a picture book or beginning reader is dependent on the illustrations. Mike Wanutka is not only an outstanding illustrator, but he is also one of my best friends. To be receiving this award with such a good friend makes the honor 10 times greater. Thank you, Mike, for bringing to life my words with your lively, expressive, laugh out loud, funny illustrations. I hope that you and I can be creating books together for many more years.
Thank you so much to the Geisel Committee and the ALSC for this award. This award means a great deal to David and me, as you could see from our crying faces in the Zoom meeting when we were told we had won. My favorite books as a child were early readers. Admittedly, I didn't know they were early readers. They were just books. Books I absolutely loved. I dedicated See the Cat to P.D. Eastman, Sid Hoff, and Richard Scarry. These are the illustrators and authors that instilled a love of books in me. See the Cat is my 30th book and third collaboration with David. When he brought See the Cat into our critique group, I instantly knew that I wanted to be the illustrator. Fortunately, David agreed. So foremost, I would like to thank David for believing that I can bring something to his already excellent stories. Also, I would like to thank him for his wonderful friendship. Yes, I hope we can create books together for many more years. I would like to thank everyone at Candlewick, especially designer Lauren Pettipiece. You are all a joy to work with. Lastly, I would like to thank my wife, Anna, and my kids, Franklin and Olivia. Thank you for putting up with me and for all your love and support.
See the happy author.
And see the happy illustrator.
Hello, I'm Brandy Sanchez, Chair of the 2021 Robert F. Seibert Medal Committee. The Seibert Medal, named in honor of Robert F. Seibert, longtime president of Bound to Stay Bound Books Incorporated, is awarded annually to the author and illustrator of the most distinguished children's informational book published in the United States in English during the preceding year. It has been my great privilege to grow and learn alongside the members of the 2021 Sibert Award Committee. Their dedication has been so affirming and uplifting during a time when we could all use hope and inspiration. This year, we seek to honor 3 books. One explores one of the most exciting and miraculous accomplishments in American history. A second celebrates the groundbreaking work of the first Black person to win the Pulitzer Prize. And a third title speaks to humanity's ingenuity and courage under great adversity. We are proud to offer this year's medal to a book that through its poetic language and rich illustration elevates our understanding and appreciation of the common honeybee. And now, the 2021 Sibert Award Books and Medal winner. All 13, The Incredible Cave Rescue of the Thai Boys Soccer Team, written by Christina Soontornvat, published by Candlewick Press. This is a gripping and multi-layered account of the worldwide effort to rescue a team of young soccer players.
Hello Hello, Seibert Committee. Thank you so much for this honor for all 13. Your recognition of this book means so much to me, and I want to give a special thanks to everyone at Candlewick Press and Red Fox Literary for making this all possible, and a very, very special shout out to my dad, who helped me so much with this book, especially with the Thai translation. I sent him a sticker too, okay? Thank you, everyone.
How We Got to the Moon. The people, technology, and daring feats of science behind humanity's greatest adventure. Written and illustrated by John Rocco. Published by Crown Books for Young Readers, an imprint of Random House Children's Books, a division of Penguin Random House. This ambitious book chronicles the 1969 lunar landing. Through extensive research and intricate illustrations, Rocco highlights the achievements of NASA innovators.
Hello, ALA attendees. I'm thrilled to be here, wherever here is. I want to congratulate all the winners of the Seibert Honors and Medal. Candy, Eric, Suzanne, Cosby, Christina, you're all awesome. I'm thrilled to be in this group with you, with my book, How We Got to the Moon. And I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks.
Exquisite. The Poetry and Life of Gwendolyn Brooks, written by Suzanne Slade and illustrated by Cosby A. Cabrera, published by Abrams Books for Young Readers, an imprint of Abrams. Through lyrical text and vibrant illustrations, this book's creators capture poet Gwendolyn Brooks' inspiring determination to never give up on a dream.
Hi, it's Cosby A. Cabrera. You know, working on Exquisite, the poetry and life of Gwendolyn Brooks, with Suzanne Slade and the team over at Abrams, was its own reward. And I think I speak on behalf of anyone who works on material that matters to them. So thank you, Seibert Selection Committee, for getting the pendulum to swing over to pure joy. How exciting, how humbling to name Exquisite as a Seibert Honor book. So thank you so much. Much love.
Hi. Receiving the Seibert Honor for Exquisite was quite unexpected but deeply appreciated, and I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the hard-working, book-loving Seibert Committee and to ALA for their ongoing dedication to learning. And special thanks to my friend Cosby A. Cabrera for sharing her incredible talent and generous spirit with this book. I am thrilled to know that this award will shine a brighter light on Gwendolyn's exquisite poetry and her inspiring life. Thank you.
Honeybee, The Busy Life of Apis mellifera, written by Candace Fleming and illustrated by Eric Roman, published by Neil Porter Books, Holiday House. Through poetic, suspenseful language, readers learn of the essential roles adopted by honeybees throughout their short lives. Fleming's text complements Roman's oversized oil paintings, which are rich with painstaking detail.
What a joy it is to celebrate with all of you today. Eric and I are especially thrilled and humbled to be included with our fellow winners, John and Cosby, Suzanne and Christina. Thank you all for your inspired work.
And of course, thank you to Brandy Sanchez and the 2021 Seibert Committee. Inga and Maria and Andrea, Angelique, Heather, Aaron, Emily, and Cheryl. You are all wonderful, tireless worker bees. Thank you for honoring our book. What a remarkable gift you've given both of us.
It really is. We're also deeply grateful to our friends at Holiday House, our beekeeping vice president, Derek, and our busy Terry.
And also, of course, the great, wondrous art director, Jennifer Brown.
And last, but never least, our editor, Neil Porter, who willingly followed us from blossom to blossom, never quite knowing where he was going to end up. Thank you, Neil, for trusting us. And now, let me tell you a story, a true one, of course. Last November, I visited a third grade classroom via Zoom to share Honeybee. As you probably know, the story follows 35-day life of a single honeybee, Apis, from the moment she emerges into the hive to the morning she drops wearily to the ground. To move the narrative forward and to give it tension, Eric and I used the refrain, "Will she fly?" The answer for most of the book is no. Apis is hive-bound. She cannot go outside. She must stay in the nest, cleaning and building without ever feeling the summer breeze on her wings, until one glorious morning when we can no longer bear for her to remain inside not one moment longer. She creeps to the opening, looks out, and leaps into open space and sunshine and blossom sweet breeze, free.
Just like us, piped up one third-grade boy. One day we'll all come out of our hives and we'll fly.
The rest of the class cheered for Apis, for their classmate, for a future that they hoped would soon be back in their control. Locked in at home, away from his classmates, remote and struggling to make sense of this new normal, this 8-year-old had found something surprising in Honeybee. He had found hope. Art and words had reconnected him with a world where the next good thing is possible. That is the power of nonfiction.
But let's rewind just a little bit. Kenny and I had previously done a book about a big animal, giant squid. And so we decided when we were thinking about our follow-up that we would create a book about a small creature that most people see every day, honeybees.
The troubling plight of honeybee is foremost in everyone's mind. They've become symbolic of global warming and the destruction of our planet. What will a world without honeybees look like? The thought is practically apocalyptic. Whenever I mentioned to people that my next book was about honeybees, they'd say something like, "Oh yeah, kids need to know more about their disappearance," or "What an important topic." I think even Neil Porter expected this book to be about the honeybee's possible extinction. What else could a book about this subject be? But I wanted to write a book about the reasons I loved honeybees, not the reasons we should worry about them. I wanted to write about the extraordinary lives they lived, the tasks they carried out, their community. I wanted to write a story, not just a compilation of facts and grim statistics, a story that honored these glorious beings rather than relegating them to the ever-growing list of endangered species. And so I wrote a story, and I focused on what I believed is the story's heart, Apis herself. And then I went ahead and I wrote that story in the lyrical language of my heart.
And so Candy hands me the manuscript, and I have to find a way to tell Candy's story with pictures. I observed bees moving over the coneflower and the cardinal plant in our garden. I looked at pictures of bees flying, images of hives and honeycombs. I made sketches and storyboards. I knew I had to stay true to my sources, but I wanted to make pictures that were not copies of photographs, but existed somewhere in that someplace between realistic and handcrafted. I needed to make illustrations that were true to nature, but utilized dynamic composition, light and dark, paint and brushwork to make the images something more than just realistic.
It's not about facts or diagrams or back matter. Certainly, the information has to be accurate. Every fact in Honeybee is 100% true. Every word, every illustration has been verified by an expert. But this alone will not interest and inspire young readers. That's because the power of nonfiction does not lie solely in the facts.
It also comes from imagination. That is, taking information and folding it in with your own experience until it is made original and personal.
And it comes from the heart, a true thing that touches the emotions and makes you feel something beyond reasoning and knowledge.
Kenny and I set out to tell the story of just a single bee. We'd hoped that readers would fall in love with Apis and by extension would fall in love with all honeybees. This was the connection we worked toward.
But as we all know, kids are magical creatures. Through some kind of alchemy, they can turn our stories into their own. They collaborate with us in completely unexpected ways. They intertwine their experiences. They discover the personally meaningful, the relevant, and the useful. in the vast inner spaces of their imagination, and our work is remade into something new, something more, and something unexpected. Will we fly? I have that third grader's word on it.
We will.
Thank you so much again. I wish we could have all been together next year. Bye-bye.
This concludes our award ceremony. Once again, our sincere thanks to you for joining us in celebrating children's media. I hope you enjoyed hearing from so many talented creators as much as I did. ALSC's network of members share knowledge, evaluate books and media for young people, and advocate for better library service to children. I encourage you to stay connected with the Association for Library Service to Children by visiting our website, where you can learn more about our awards and our work.